Game On, our softball on-campus edition here at Morristown High School. I'm Mark Zamaro, joined by our softball expert, John Lewis. You had a big weekend. You got to go to the RV tournament, which is always a big tournament for a lot of our great teams.
It is, and I have some takeaways, beginning with RV, which you saw them beat Northern Burlington.
I did.
I saw them lose to Cherokee when they just looked like they wanted to be elsewhere. And I was trying to make sense out of it. You know, Lauren Gaskell says she's their co-head coach now, and she's telling me, you can tell when this team shows up to compete, they can play with anybody. When they're focused on every pitch, focused on making every play, they're a really nice team. You can also tell when they don't, and that's what I saw. And it's interesting, I was standing outside the field with Angie Dunphy after the game, the pitcher from last year. She's at Stockton now. And, they're huddled in the field, and she's like, hey, watch this. And Lauren talked to him for a while, and Becky Perkins had a few words to say. No senior stood up and said anything. No player stood up and said anything. And Angie told me that's this team's problem. They're looking for leadership at the player level. They're not getting it. And they're a good team, and they need to be sold on this by their coaches and by their fellow athletes.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw when they played Northern Burlington and beat them 2-1, they had a lot of kids really stepping up that day. They seemed focused, and when I talked to the kids afterwards, it was all because they were so focused on their opponent. They wanted to beat Northern Burlington so bad, so I think that plays into what you're saying.
Maybe they had a little bit of a letdown, but I mean, they played a game earlier in the day against Highland. They played very well, but yeah, you have a young team, you're going to have night and day moments, I think.
Right. All right, well, let's talk about another team that really is cruising in that tournament, and that's Cherokee.
Cherokee is really interesting. I mean, they have some players. Rachel Bromberg can drive the ball. They have Allie St. Jean. She can drive the ball. But you know what? The straw that stirs that drink, Emma Gilmore.
The speedster.
The speedster, yes. I mean, she can slap it over the infield and circle the bases herself. But I saw her steal 4 bases against Cherokee or against Lenape last week. She scored on a drop pop-up. Wasn't halfway to first base. Zoom, she's home. The other thing that I took away from Saturday, that Carly Messina pitched really well, held RV to 4 hits. And I think they have a 7-6 win this year. They have a 12-7 win this year. They're going to score 7s. They're going to score 6s. But if she's going to pitch like that, they're going to be very tough to beat.
Yeah, and she's only a sophomore,
yeah,
correct?
She completes the picture.
Yeah, do you think it's helping her? I mean, last year they had a little bit of a split squad with the rotation there. Now it's just her, it looks like.
I think it does. I mean, I think that you kind of grow into that role. If you know you're going to get the ball every day, you kind of grow into that feeling. Other thing that's interesting about them, though, they weren't going to come Sunday for the semifinals, which obviously didn't happen anyway, but the senior class went to Florida. And I talked to Mary Maggi about it. You know how in wrestling you have a second season? That's how they look at this. They're 6-1 the first part of the year. Now, okay, we get our midterm grades, we go to Florida, we come back, second season starts. I kind of like that. I mean, the Florida trip is a fact of your life. You might as well build around it, and I think it's interesting that they've done that.
Interesting. All right, well, on the other side of the bracket, I guess, Northern Burlington and Lenape was a game you saw.
Northern Burlington, they have a lot of upside. I mean, they can hit. Brian Wolverton told me he took the shackles off them a little bit and just let them swing away. And they played 2 games. They had 21 hits. Megan Berg had 3 extra base hits. Julia Meyernick had 2 extra base hits. They also got a well-pitched game from Amanda Gonzalez. She pitched 6 innings in their first game. She had, I think, 13 strikeouts. She allowed 1 hit. I mean, Haley Archer is going to be the everyday pitcher, but you have somebody else who can go in and work an inning or work 2 innings. That's just a tremendous boon to that team.
Yeah, I mean, the team is going to go by Haley Archer, though. She's a tremendous pitcher. Another sophomore we're talking about. I mean, that whole team's filled with sophomores.
Yeah.
But when I saw them, they did look a little tight, but you could see that they were just waiting for a breakout.
And I think that we may have seen it.
Okay, well, on the other side of that, though, they beat Lenape. What did you see with Lenape?
It's funny. We were talking about Carly Messina just a moment ago. I think Lenape is looking for the same thing. They have 3 good pitchers, but I think Eric Krasnick would like to have one pitcher give her the ball and have her turn it up the way Carly turned it up on Saturday and have a team built around her. I mean, obviously, they can drive the ball. I mean, Olivia Wang had 7 home runs last year. She has 7 this year. She has 2 this year.
I was going to say, wow.
They have 7 others. They have 9 as a team. She has 2 of them. So throughout the lineup, they can drive the ball. They can run a little bit. They can pitch. But I think you need that one player to emerge, and that's when you become an elite team, when you have that to build around.
Okay, well, it'll be interesting to see how that all turns out when they finally do finish that tournament. All right, well, that is all the time we have for this week. Make sure to go to our website for great new content every day, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at BCT Game On and #BCT Sports. We'll see you next time.